In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to make over $200 a day as a copywriter. Now, $200 every single day comes out to around $6,000 every single month. $6,000 a month is more than achievable as a copywriter. And we have a whole bunch of copywriters in the 4D Discord server who are doing the exact same thing. So we have Zenos, for example, who is around about 18.6K every single month. We have Ian, who is around 8K every single month. We also have Orestes, who is about to become a 15K a month copywriter. So needless to say, 6K a month is far from unattainable. I mean, we have a couple copywriters making double that. So 6K a month, definitely reasonable. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you exactly the same principles that I shared with them to get them to where they are at now in their copywriting journey. But just a quick disclaimer is that the things that I'm gonna be talking about in this video are more principles, tips, and strategies. If you want a full breakdown, step-by-step, how to start copywriting free course, you can get that on my YouTube on the complete free 4-hour course that I suggest you watch right after this one. But the number one first thing that I would do when trying to hit that $200 a day as a copywriter is I would understand the difference between power and force. Look, you should keep this in mind from the very start. And I'll give you a good example. So Alex Hormozy is someone who talks about leverage a lot. And leverage, essentially as his definition, is when you get maximum output for minimum input. So let's say that you're a copywriter who does 50 outreaches every single day and you have no leverage. Well, maybe you get a client maybe every single month or every single 2 months. But let's say you have high amounts of leverage. Now, with that same amount of outreach that you're doing, you're getting a client every single week. This is the exact difference that I found when I started building my leverage with copywriting. How do you build your leverage, Tyson? Well, there's a few different key leverage multipliers that you can incorporate. First of all, of course, we have experience in the form of testimonials and case studies. Now, look, if you're able to actually present your testimonials and case studies on your Instagram profile, for example, or you can just name drop some of the people that you've worked with in your outreach or tell people what kind of conversion rates or what kind of revenue increases you've been able to give businesses. This is going to greatly increase your perceived value and increase the likelihood of you getting clients without even having to do more outreach or working harder. So that was the first one. And the next one is walk away power. Okay, if you're a copywriter and you're somebody who's been routinely adding revenue to a business's bottom line, and maybe you're making 2K a month, but you have all these other clients that you have to work with, and now you're getting low on time. Well, you can essentially go to that one client that you're working for at 2K a month and say, look, the thing is that I don't have much time anymore, and I would kind of like a little bit more free time back. So here's the deal. We can either bump this up to 3K, maybe even 4K a month, or I'll be forced to not work for the company anymore. And this is called walkaway power because, of course, since you're making them so much revenue, the last thing that they want is for you to actually walk away. So if you're able to prove yourself and become an integral part in a business's revenue, then you're gonna have that walkaway power and whatever you say as the copywriter goes. And the third way to build leverage, I kind of already touched on this, is by building your personal brand. Okay, I'm talking about a Facebook account or an Instagram. Essentially, it's just a place where you show what you know, you show some of the results that you've gotten, you show that you're a real person, and you can actually build somewhat of a copywriting brand so now people know who you are. See, this is one of the detriments of something like email outreach, because email outreach, sure, maybe you can leave your website or something, but people aren't going to want to check it out. They're not going to be very interested in you. But if you outreach on something like Facebook or you outreach on something like Instagram, people are naturally going to go look at your profile and see who you are and what you do. And if they like what they see, then of course, you are going to get more clients for doing the exact same amount of work as you would if you didn't have this leverage. And the last thing that you can leverage that I see almost nobody talking about is VAs or virtual assistants, or just in general, other people's time. So look, once you're making something like $100 a day or $150 a day with copywriting, you can do something like hire a virtual assistant. This is someone who's going to schedule calls with you or just do all the shallow work that is important to do to keep the ship afloat, but is not going to actually move the needle, right? Now, this is super important because as a copywriter, you're going to get to points in your career where you're not limited by money as much as you are limited by time. There's only 24 hours in a day. Everybody has the exact same 24 hours, right? Most people have between 4 and 5 hours of deep work that they can get completed, but sometimes you're gonna have more work to do. So you could either hire other copywriters to do that work for you, keep a little bit of profit, okay, pay that copywriter, of course, or you can get a virtual assistant to do all the things that you're not really looking forward to do. And you can get these virtual assistants, man, for really quite cheap. So now you know the difference between power and force, and how that's gonna help you become a $200 a day copywriter. Second thing that you need to keep in mind on your path to $200 every single day is that you need to dedicate your life to solving other people's problems. Now look, there's this very, very famous quote. I heard it from Zig Ziglar, but who knows who it's originally by. And it goes like this: you will get whatever you want as long as you help enough people get what they want. And that is an integral, ironclad rule in business, okay? If you focus on nothing except for client success, the amount of referrals and the amount of money that you're gonna get from that one client is going to be more than worth it. Look, if you never wanna have to outreach again to go ahead and get clients and make money, then you need to focus on your client's success. And of course, this is something that a lot of copywriters miss out on because they're just interested in collecting a paycheck. And you do not want to be a there for a paycheck type of copywriter, because those types of copywriters don't get paid the big bucks. And look, I get it. In the very beginning, you're not really gonna know how to solve these people's problems. You're not gonna really know why they are having these problems, and you're not gonna be that great at it. But I promise you, this is a huge lever to actually learn copywriting, learn marketing, and learn business as fast as possible, okay? The faster you work, the more you get done, the more problems you solve, the faster you can start making that sweet $200 every single day with copywriting. Which perfectly leads me into my third point of speedrunning to that $200 every single day. Learn to get paid for what you know rather than what you do. Now look, all these freelance websites, right, like Fiverr and Upwork, usually get a very bad rap because they're known for people who are only looking for people from overseas who want to get paid like $3 an hour to write their copy, right? Which is not always the case. But this is a great example of being paid for the work that you do. As copywriters, we do not want to be paid hourly, because then we're trading our time for money. We might as well just get a 9-to-5 job. Instead, we want to get paid for what we know. This is a way where you can make hundreds of dollars a day and only spend like an hour, maybe 2 hours writing some emails or writing a sales page. Well, how do you get paid for what you know rather than what you do? Well, here's one way that you can become a great marketer in just a small amount of time. So what you're gonna do, right, you're gonna pick whatever niche that you're gonna start copywriting in. All right, now, if you wanna know a whole, what niches to go into, I have a whole entire video of the best versus the worst niches when it comes to copywriting. But in that niche, you're going to wanna find 3 of the A players. I'm talking about the top dogs. I'm talking about the tippy top, the guys who are making the most amount of money in that particular niche. And you are going to want to study every aspect of their business. How do people find them? Are they running ads? Are they organic? Do they have a YouTube channel? Do they have an Instagram? Okay, and then how are they getting leads? How are they getting people's emails? How are they reconnecting with people after they leave or after they've already watched? And then of course, what are all of the products? What prices are they? How do those products work together? And I guarantee you, if you do a deep analysis on the top 3 businesses in your industry, you are now going to have tons and tons and tons of ideas when you start analyzing these smaller businesses on how they can actually grow. And that is exactly how you get paid for what you know rather than the work that you do. And number 4, the 4th principle that you're going to need to incorporate if you want to get to $200 a day as fast as possible is to be an innovator rather than a copy and paster. Guys, we're talking about some business rules here, and this is one business rule that greatly applies to copywriting, okay? 99.999% of businesses do not reinvent the wheel. Okay, I mean, sure, we have the very first social media platforms ever, probably MySpace or something, all right? But then we have other social media platforms that did the exact same thing as MySpace, but then changed it a little bit, okay? We have things like Facebook, we have things like Instagram, we have things like TikTok, we have things like Twitter, we have things like Snapchat. All of these things are essentially the exact same thing. They're all a social media, but they all work a little bit differently. And that's exactly how you want your outreach to be. Now, look, I have hours and hours and hours and playlists and playlists and playlists consisting of outreach methods and outreach trainings, okay? I also have the full copy starter kit, which a bunch of templates and a bunch of outreach methods in the ultimate outreach playbook that you can download for free down in the description. Okay, so there is no shortage of information when it comes to outreach, but you're going to want to add a little bit of innovation because look, all the beginners are looking for some secret method, right? Some secret way that they can get clients that are going to pay them a whole bunch of money and they don't actually have to do any of the work of outreach, and that just doesn't exist, okay? Outreach is going to take a little bit of elbow grease, all right? And if you are just somebody who wants to copy and paste outreaches, well, it's not really going to work as well for you as it did for the original creator of that template or method. So what do I suggest? Well, I suggest taking the exact template, taking the exact method, right, and finding different small ways that you can tweak it and make it your own. Remember, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to come up with some crazy out there type of outreach, okay? It could be a very, very commonly used outreach, but you just change it so that's a little bit different. And that leads me into my fifth and final most important rule if you want to reach $200 every single day with copywriting. And that is that all it really takes is working harder than 90% of the people who call themselves copywriters, which is not hard, okay? Most of the people out here who call themselves copywriters aren't really dedicated to it, all right? They don't work on copy every single day. They're really casual about it. They kind of want it, but then again, it's kind of hard. So, they don't really want to do it, right? Or they say, you know what, I'm going to try this copywriting thing. And if it doesn't work out in 3 months, then I'm going to quit. I mean, that is essentially the worst possible mindset that you could go into something with. And the reason why these people have this mindset is because they don't understand how crucial of a skill copywriting is. You see, one of the biggest reasons as to why I chose to become a copywriter is because I would be mastering the skill of marketing. And mastering skills is something that nobody can take from you. It doesn't get eaten away by inflation. It's not subject to the market. If you master marketing, you will never, ever go hungry. I mean, you simply can't. So I urge you to dedicate yourself because me personally, even if I went really hard at this copywriting thing and this marketing thing for like 5 years, and I didn't really see that much success from it, well, hey, it would be much easier for me to pivot into something else. Now that I've mastered the skill of marketing, now that I've mastered the skill of copywriting, I could do anything. I could do YouTube, which is what I'm doing right now. And if it wasn't for copywriting, I'd have no idea how to do YouTube. But first and foremost, I could be a drop shipper because now I understand marketing, I understand ads, I understand what makes people want to buy things. Maybe I could start an agency, okay? Because now I know copywriting, now I know marketing, now I know sales. And those are all integral things into starting a social media marketing agency. I mean, the amount of things that you can do with this skill is literally endless. So no matter how long you stick with it, no matter how hard you work on it, it will never ever be for nothing. Guys, if you want to watch more videos and more value on copywriting, you want some more free courses, I'll put those on screen right now. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. And of course, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.